Welcome to the very first episode of the PIFster Pulse. I'm Chris, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be here with my co-host, the brilliant Shashana.
And I'm Shashana. Chris, it's honestly surreal to finally be launching this. We've been talking about this concept for so long, and now, here we are, ready to dive deep into something we both believe can truly change the world.
Change the world, that's a big statement, but I genuinely think it's true. Today, we're talking about micro-giving. It's this idea that many people giving just a little bit can add up to something monumental. It's not about big, sweeping gestures from a few wealthy individuals, though those are great too. It's about the collective power of everyday people.
Exactly. And for me, this whole idea really crystallized during the COVID lockdowns. Remember how isolating that felt? How much uncertainty there was? I remember seeing so many smaller, local charities, community organizations just struggling to keep their doors open. They were doing vital work, feeding families, housing the vulnerable, supporting local artists, but their usual funding streams just dried up overnight.
It was tough to watch, wasn't it? The big foundations were stretched thin, and individual donors were often tightening their own belts.
Absolutely. But what struck me was you'd see these small, grassroots efforts pop up. A neighbor collecting groceries for another neighbor, a local business offering free meals. And it just got me thinking, what if that kind of everyday generosity, that small act, could be scaled? I remember literally thinking, hey, if everybody just gave $1, we could fix some of these problems.
$1. It sounds almost too simple, doesn't it? But that's the beauty of it. People often feel like they can't make a difference unless they're writing a 5-figure check. But when you look at the numbers, it's pretty astounding. Take Los Angeles, for example. There are roughly 10 million people living in LA County.
10 million. That's a huge number to wrap your head around.
Right? So imagine if just a tenth of those people, just 1 million Angelinos, decided to give a single dollar. That's $1 million. Every month. Just from $1. Suddenly, that little dollar doesn't feel so little anymore, does it? That's real, impactful money that could go to those smaller organizations you were talking about that are so often overlooked.
It's incredible, Chris. It really puts into perspective the collective power we all have. We're talking about changing the narrative from charity is for the wealthy to charity is for everyone, by everyone. It lowers the barrier to entry, so to speak. People don't have to feel guilty if they can't donate hundreds or thousands. $1 is manageable for almost anyone.
Exactly. And it's not just about the monetary value, though that's obviously huge. It's also about participation. It's about feeling connected to a larger movement, feeling like you're part of something bigger than yourself, even if your individual contribution is small. That sense of community, I think, is incredibly powerful.
It's like when you see those online fundraisers for someone who's had a medical emergency or a small business that suffered a setback. You see hundreds, sometimes thousands of people, each giving $5, $10, $20. And suddenly that target amount, which seemed impossible for any one person to reach, is met or even surpassed. It's that same principle just applied more broadly and consistently.
That's such a great analogy, Shashana. It's happened so many times where I've seen a friend or a family member post one of those links, and you see the meter just climb and climb. It's not just the money, it's the outpouring of goodwill. You see comments like, thinking of you, or sending love along with the donation.
Right, it validates that person's struggle or that cause's importance. And I think for those smaller charities, the ones often doing incredible work on shoestring budgets, that validation can be just as crucial as the money. Knowing that 1,000 people care enough to give $1, that's a massive morale booster.
It absolutely is. I remember hearing a story once, years ago, about a local animal shelter that needed a new roof. They had a huge goal and it felt insurmountable. They tried everything. Big gala events, reaching out to corporate sponsors, but nothing was quite hitting the mark. Then someone had the idea to just ask everyone in the community to donate $5, just $5 if they could.
And what happened?
They ended up not just reaching their goal, but exceeding it. Why? Because hundreds, maybe thousands, of people who felt connected to that shelter, who loved animals, who thought, I can spare $5, all chipped in. It wasn't one big donor, it was the entire community coming together. It's like building something brick by brick rather than dropping one giant prefabricated wall.
That's such a powerful image, and it really speaks to the sustainable aspect of microgiving too. When you rely on one or two major donors, if they pull out or if their circumstances change, that charity is in deep trouble. But if you have 1,000 people giving $1, losing one or two of them isn't going to sink the ship. It creates a much more resilient funding model.
That's a fantastic point. Diversification, right? It's not just good for your investment portfolio, it's good for philanthropy too. It's about spreading the responsibility and the impact, making it less vulnerable to the whims of a few.
And it also means that the charities aren't spending all their time and resources chasing huge grants or trying to woo ultra-high net worth individuals. They can focus more on their actual mission, on doing the good work, because they know they have a consistent, broad base of support.
Yeah, I've heard so many stories about small nonprofits whose entire staff, who are already often underpaid and overworked, spend a huge chunk of their time just on grant writing and fundraising. Imagine if they could redirect that energy. Imagine the good they could do with that freed up capacity.
It would be transformative, and that's really what PIFster is all about. It's taking that concept of a dollar from everyone and creating a really simple, transparent way for people to participate consistently.
It's about making it effortless too. People are busy, they want to do good, they genuinely do, but sometimes the sheer effort of researching charities, deciding who to give to, setting up donations, it can be a barrier, especially for smaller amounts.
Exactly. So we're making it easy to pay it forward to a new, vetted charity every single month. You become a PIFster, and you know that your small contribution, combined with thousands of others, is making a tangible difference to a deserving cause that genuinely needs that community support.
And it's such a diverse range of causes too. It's not just one sector, it could be anything from environmental protection to arts and culture to local food banks to animal welfare. The need is everywhere, and the desire to help is everywhere.
It's about empowering people to be part of the solution without feeling like they need to be a philanthropist in the traditional sense. It's everyday philanthropy, accessible to all.
Think about your daily routine. You probably spend $1, $2, $5 on things you don't even think about. A coffee, a snack, a song download. Imagine if one of those small, almost unconscious expenditures each month went towards something truly meaningful, something that actively improved someone's life or protected a natural resource.
It shifts your perspective, doesn't it? From what can I get to what can I give, even in the smallest way. And that ripple effect is what truly excites me about microgiving. It's not just the money, it's the shift in mindset, the widespread participation.
Absolutely. It reminds me of those small town initiatives, like when a local library needs new books. They don't ask for a huge donation from one person. They often have a buy a book campaign, where people can donate the cost of one book. And suddenly, hundreds of new books are on the shelves, all from individuals who felt they could contribute something small but significant.
It's that exact spirit, and that feeling when you walk into that library and see those new books, knowing you were a tiny part of making that happen, that's incredibly rewarding. We want to give people that feeling, consistently, every month, for causes that truly matter.
So if you're listening to this and you're thinking, yeah, I want to be part of that, I want to make a difference, even a small one, then we have a really clear call to action for you. It's super simple.
We'd love for everyone to visit pifster.org. That's PIFster.org. There you can learn more about how it works, and most importantly, you can become a PIFster. It's about joining a community of people dedicated to paying it forward to a new, deserving charity every single month.
That's pifster.org. It's an opportunity to turn that feeling of I wish I could do more into I am doing more, $1 at a time. And we truly believe that together those dollars add up to monumental change.
Thank you so much for joining us for this inaugural episode of the PIFster Pulse. It means the world to us that you're here, listening, and thinking about how we can all make a difference.
We're so excited for you to become a PIFster and join us on this journey. Until next time, keep pulsing forward and keep paying it forward.